Chosen one, hear this slowly and let it settle in your spirit, because this is not a motivational message, and it is not meant for everyone. January to March 26 is a spiritual threshold, a narrow passage of time where decisions, reactions, obedience, and restraint will quietly determine the direction of the next 7 years of your life. Nothing about this season looks dramatic on the outside, yet everything about it is weighty in the unseen realm. God often decides long chapters of destiny in short, uncelebrated moments, and this is one of those moments. You may already feel it without fully understanding it. There is a strange pressure in the air, not panic but urgency, not fear but seriousness. Conversations feel heavier. Choices feel more permanent. Even small decisions seem to carry unusual consequences. That is because this is not a random quarter of the year. This is a foundation-laying window. What is set in place now will support or sabotage what comes next. God is not asking you to sprint. He is asking you to be precise. Many chosen ones enter this period expecting visible breakthroughs, but what actually happens first is internal alignment. God works in layers. Before He changes your environment, He changes your posture. Before He releases provision, He corrects position. Before He opens doors, He closes distractions. That is why some of you feel slowed down, restrained, or even blocked right now. It is not punishment. It is protection. If you move too fast in this window, you would carry the wrong patterns into the next 7 years. January to March 2026 is not about doing more, it is about doing right. Heaven is observing how you handle silence, delay, temptation, and pressure. God is watching what you cling to when nothing is forcing you to let go. He is watching what you entertain privately, what you compromise quietly, and what you obey when no one is applauding. These months will reveal whether you are ready for sustained blessing or only short-term relief. Some of you are being tested in relationships during this time. Old connections resurface. Familiar voices call again. People from past seasons suddenly reappear, offering comfort, nostalgia, or opportunity. This is not coincidence, this is examination. God is watching whether you will retreat into what feels familiar or remain aligned with what He is building. Reconnecting with what God already delivered you from can delay destiny by years. Not because God is angry, but because cycles repeat when lessons are unfinished. Others are being tested through impatience. You have prayed, you have waited, you feel overdue, and now offers appear that seem good enough, almost right, close, but not clean. These months are dangerous for rushed decisions. What you choose quickly in this window can lock you into long-term frustration. The enemy does not need to destroy you if he can simply distract you at the wrong time. A small detour here can become a long delay later. God is also watching how you steward authority, even in small forms. How you speak when you are misunderstood. How you respond when you are not chosen. How you act when doors don't open immediately. Pride, offense, and bitterness are subtle thieves in this season. They do not announce themselves loudly, they creep in through disappointment. If left unchecked, they can poison the next 7 years before they begin. Do not mistake quiet for absence. God is closer now than you realize. He is simply working in a way that requires your cooperation, not your noise. Many chosen ones sabotage this season by over-explaining, oversharing, and overreacting. This is not the time to announce every move, every thought, every frustration. This is a time for measured steps and guarded speech. Destiny responds to discipline. You may notice that certain habits no longer feel tolerable. Entertainment that once distracted you now leaves you empty. Conversations that once energized you now drain you. Places that once felt exciting now feel heavy. This is not boredom. This is discernment sharpening. God is narrowing your appetite so you can recognize what truly feeds you. What you repeatedly consume in these months will shape your spiritual sensitivity for years. There is also a call to consistency in this window. Not intensity, consistency. Small, faithful actions repeated quietly matter more now than dramatic gestures. A disciplined prayer life, even when it feels dry. Integrity in private choices. Obedience in mundane tasks. These are not insignificant. They are bricks. You are laying something whether you realize it or not. The question is whether you are laying it with wisdom or impulse. Some of you are facing unusual resistance in January through March. Delays that don't make sense, opposition that seems unnecessary, misunderstandings that come out of nowhere. Do not assume this means you are on the wrong path. Often, resistance increases when alignment is near. But resistance should not be fought emotionally, it should be navigated spiritually. Reaction will cost you more than patience ever will. God is also watching how you treat yourself in this season. Chosen ones often carry guilt for resting, shame for slowing down, and pressure to perform. But burnout is not a badge of honor. Exhaustion clouds judgment, and judgment is critical in this window. You cannot discern well if you are constantly depleted. Rest is not retreat, it is recalibration. This period will also expose what truly has your trust. When answers don't come quickly, where does your heart lean? Do you lean into God or into control? Do you seek wisdom or validation? Do you wait or manipulate outcomes? Trust is not proven when things go smoothly. It is proven when clarity is delayed. Heaven is paying attention to this. Not everyone around you will understand what you are carrying right now. Some will misinterpret your quiet as weakness. Others will pressure you to move faster. A few may even criticize your restraint. Let them. They are not responsible for the next 7 years of your life. You are. And more importantly, God is. Obedience rarely looks impressive in the moment, but it is powerful over time. January to March 2026 is also a season of separation for many chosen ones. Not dramatic endings, but subtle distancing. Conversations fade, invitations stop, circles shrink. This is not rejection, it is refinement. God often reduces noise before he gives direction. Clarity requires space, and space requires courage. Pay attention to repeated nudges in this season. The same conviction returning, the same warning resurfacing, the same instruction echoing quietly. God is not nagging you. He is emphasizing what matters most. Ignoring repeated instruction now can create repeated problems later. You are not being rushed into destiny, but you are being prepared for longevity. Flashy breakthroughs fade quickly. Stable foundations last. God is more interested in where you will be in 7 years than how excited you feel in 7 days. That is why this season feels slow, serious, and sacred. If you feel unseen right now, know this heaven sees you clearly. If you feel hidden, understand that roots grow in hidden places. If you feel restrained, remember that arrows are pulled back before they are released forward. Nothing about this window is wasted unless you rush through it without discernment. So stay watchful, stay humble, stay obedient. Guard your spirit, measure your steps. Not everything that feels urgent is important, and not everything that feels quiet is insignificant. January to March 2026 is deciding more than you can see, and how you move now will echo longer than you expect. Chosen one, as this season continues to unfold, it becomes clear that January through March 2026 is not only about what you avoid, but also about what you deliberately choose to align with. God is not merely closing doors, he is calibrating your discernment so that when the right doors appear, you will recognize them without confusion. This is a season where clarity is earned through obedience, not demanded through impatience. The more you honor small instructions now, the more confidence you will carry into the years ahead. There is a deep spiritual principle at work in this window. Whatever you normalize here becomes familiar later. If you normalize distraction now, distraction will feel natural for years. If you normalize discipline now, discipline will become your strength later. God is allowing everyday patterns to reveal future capacity. This is why seemingly minor routines matter so much in these months. How you start your mornings, how you end your nights, what you allow into your thoughts, and how quickly you correct misalignment are all shaping the rhythm of your next season. Some chosen ones are being trained in emotional mastery during this time, not suppression, but control. You may notice stronger emotional reactions rising within you, sometimes without clear reason. Old wounds surface, past disappointments revisit your mind. This is not regression, it is exposure. God is bringing unresolved areas into the light so they do not sabotage you later. Emotional healing that happens now will prevent relational breakdowns in the coming years. Ignoring it will only delay what must eventually be addressed. This season is also testing your ability to wait without growing bitter. Waiting does not mean doing nothing. It means doing the right thing without immediate reward. Haven is measuring whether you can remain faithful when affirmation is absent. Many destinies are not lost through rebellion, but through discouragement. Discouragement slowly erodes faith until compromise feels justified. Guard your heart carefully in this window. What you allow to settle emotionally will influence your spiritual stamina. You may also feel a strong pull to simplify your life. Desires change. Priorities rearrange themselves. Goals that once felt urgent now feel optional, while others suddenly feel essential. This is not confusion, it is refinement. God is stripping away excess so that your focus sharpens. Simplicity is not loss, it is clarity. The fewer directions you are pulled in, the stronger your forward momentum will be in the years ahead. There is a unique emphasis on integrity during this period. Not public integrity, but private consistency. What you do when there is no immediate consequence matters greatly now. Heaven honors alignment, not appearance. Shortcuts may seem harmless, but they leave impressions on your character, and character determines capacity. God is shaping you for responsibilities that require trustworthiness, not just talent. Some of you will experience divine discomfort in familiar environments. Workplaces, social circles, even routines may suddenly feel misaligned. This is not restlessness, it is transition awareness. God often makes the current place uncomfortable when He is preparing you for movement. But movement does not always happen immediately. Sometimes the discomfort is meant to push you into preparation, not premature action. You are also being taught how to listen differently. Not louder but deeper. God's voice in this season is subtle, often coming as a steady inner knowing rather than dramatic instruction. The more you slow down, the clearer it becomes. Noise drowns discernment. That is why solitude, reflection, and stillness are so valuable right now. What you hear in quiet moments may shape years of direction. January to March 2026 is also revealing the difference between calling and attachment. Some things you once believed were assignments are being exposed as emotional ties. God is gently separating you from what you have outgrown. Letting go does not mean it was wrong. It means it was temporary. Clinging to expired seasons can drain the energy needed for future ones. There is a lesson in restraint embedded in this window. Not every thought needs to be spoken. Not every plan needs to be shared. Not every battle needs to be fought. Wisdom in silence will protect you from unnecessary entanglements. Oversharing invites interference. Privacy preserves momentum. God is teaching you that some victories are secured quietly long before they are visible publicly. You may notice an increase in self-awareness during this time. Patterns become obvious. Triggers are easier to identify. Strengths and weaknesses reveal themselves more clearly. This is a gift, not a burden. Awareness gives you the opportunity to choose differently. The more honest you are with yourself now, the less correction will be needed later. There is also an invitation to deepen your trust in timing. God's delays are not denials, they are design. What feels late to you may be perfectly positioned to align multiple outcomes at once. If things unfolded too early, you would lack the maturity to sustain them. Trust built now will steady you when expansion comes. Some chosen ones will face moments of loneliness in this season, not because they are abandoned, but because they are being individualized. God often isolates before He elevates, not to harm, but to prepare. Solitude teaches you how to stand without leaning too heavily on human approval. This inner stability will become essential in leadership and influence later. Pay attention to how you handle correction during this time. Resistance to correction limits growth. Openness to instruction accelerates it. God may use unexpected voices, inconvenient situations, or uncomfortable truths to shape you. Receive what is useful and release what is not, without offense. Humility now will save you from harder lessons later. This window is also about endurance, not dramatic endurance but steady perseverance, showing up consistently even when progress seems invisible, continuing to do what is right even when recognition is absent. Endurance built here will carry you through future seasons of expansion where pressure increases alongside blessing. You are also being positioned to see differently. Perspective shifts in this season. Situations that once felt personal now feel purposeful. Challenges that once discouraged you now refine you. This shift in perception is critical. How you interpret events determines how you respond to them. Mature perspective will protect you from emotional extremes in the years ahead. As March approaches, some clarity will begin to surface, not always in the form of full answers, but in the form of peace. Peace does not mean everything is resolved, it means you are aligned. Alignment brings stability even before manifestation. That peace is your confirmation that something is being established beneath the surface. Do not measure this season by visible results. Measure it by internal growth. Measure it by how much more grounded you are, how much less reactive you have become, how much clearer your priorities feel. These are the true indicators that something significant is taking root. January to March 2026 is not dramatic, but it is decisive. It is not loud, but it is loaded. What is being formed now will quietly support you for years or quietly strain you later. Choose awareness over autopilot. Choose obedience over impulse. Choose depth over speed. You are not behind. You are being aligned. And alignment now will determine how much you can carry, sustain, and steward in the next 7 years of your life.